A Little Bird Mystery. Story by Ruth Siburt. Illustrated by Doris Ettlinger. Chapter 1. You're a born nurse, Ada Cutler, even if you are only 13, Aunt Hannah said, shifting to make herself more comfortable in her front porch rocking chair. I don't know how your Uncle Glenn and I could have survived without you. Well, that's right, Uncle Glenn commented as he walked slowly up the dirt path from the hen house with the egg collection basket dangling from the crook of his left arm. I don't suppose anyone could have done a better job at beating this awful sickness, even if they were 30, let alone 13. And sad enough to tell, there are lots of folks that have not been so fortunate. Ducking her head to hide a flush of pride, Ada pretended to scold her guardians. It won't do me much good to have brought you through the influenza if you catch a chill now. She tucked a blanket around her aunt's plump knees. And you, Uncle Glenn, she said, rising to take the basket from his arm. I told you not to do too much. And I told you I'm fit as a fiddle. So you say. And so I am, Uncle Glenn insisted. But I reckon it won't hurt me to sit a spell next to this beautiful lady here. That's a grand idea. Ada turned to carry the eggs inside. Ada crossed the front room and went into the kitchen. She tried not to think about the weeks that had just passed. But images of her aunt and uncle, so sick they could barely raise their heads or catch their breaths, haunted her. Ada knew her aunt and uncle had suffered from the same illness that had swept back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean with the soldiers fighting the Great War. Because the illness was reported by newspapers in Spain, where tens of thousands of people had sickened and died, the disease was named for them, the Spanish influenza. Soon, children had a jump rope rhyme about it. I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened up the window. Influenza. Ada hadn't heard the rhyme for a couple of months now. Her school had closed when the first student, Barry Goodman, had sickened. Ada was still waiting for her school to reopen. The news about Barry was not good. Ada pumped a bowl of water at the sink. She washed the eggs, then laid them on a towel to dry. She wondered if Aunt Hannah would like an egg for noon dinner. That should set easy on her stomach. Ada was startled by a sound not heard too often this far from town, the roaring grumble of an automobile. Quickly she dried her hands and ran to the porch to try to catch a glimpse of it. Ada burst through the front door and halted on the porch. To her delight, the automobile turned into the long dirt lane leading up to the house. Its hard tires scattered the fallen leaves from their soft maple tree, and the October sun glinted off its windshield. "Would you look there?" Aunt Hannah said. "Ain't that Doc Sandberg's automobile? Wonder what brings him out this way." "Don't know," Uncle Glenn muttered, "but if he's come to do some doctoring, I'd say he's a mite late." Ada paid no attention to her uncle's grumbling. Doc Sandberg reached a hand out the window, popped open the driver's side door, and unfolded his long legs from his Model T automobile. "Hello there, Cutlers!" Doc Sandberg greeted them with a wave. "I heard you were ill, and I came to see how you were getting along." "Well, as usual, you come too late to be any use," Uncle Glenn teased. "This girl here has done a wonderful job of seeing us through. You'll have to take yourself on down the road to earn $1 for your doctoring." "Is that right?" Doc Sandberg said as he mounted the steps to the porch. "Right as rain," Aunt Hannah confirmed. "We were just saying there isn't a better nurse in the whole state than our Ada." "Can I pour you a glass of apple cider, Doc?" Ada asked, trying to draw his attention away from her guardian's praises. "Thank you, but no. I can only stay a minute." "Humph. Guess you weren't planning on doing too much doctoring anyway." "Glenn, hush." Aunt Hannah swatted her husband playfully. "I would like to hear about your symptoms, though," Doc said, propping one hip on the porch rail. "You'll have to ask the gal there," Uncle Glenn said. "Hannah and I don't recall quite a bit of it, except it was powerful hard to breathe." "All right, then. Ada," Doc Sandberg shifted his gaze, "tell me more about these two patients of yours. Was there fever?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?